Hello everybody, it's Adam. I am back with another clothing brand video. Today I will show you how to create everything you need to send your clothing manufacturer to guarantee your samples come back perfect every single time. First, I will show you how to create your clothing mock-up. Your mock-up is crucial for visualizing your design for your manufacturer. The first step of creating any piece of clothing is putting together a good mock-up. Then I will show you how to label your mock-up, and I will explain all of the crucial information that you need to put on your mock-up as I have done here. Then finally, I will show you how to find and provide a size chart with custom measurements. This is if you want your garment to fit a specific way. If not, your manufacturer will just use their standard measurements. But if you want a specific fit, then you want to provide size charts, which is super easy and they're super easy to find. This video is for beginners. There is no limit to what you can create with these 3 steps. This is basically everything that you need to know. The best software on the market, in my opinion, is called Adobe Illustrator, which I and a lot of big brands use. This is available on all iPads, laptops and PCs. There is also an online alternative called Vector P, which is free and online but does not offer as many features as Adobe Illustrator.
So here we are, we've got nothing open. I'm just going to go into the search bar and type in Illustrator and open it up, and it's just going to look like this. You want to press new file, this blue button up here, new file. I like to use a web large and press create. This is 1920 by 1080 pixels, and here we are, we've got a blank artboard that we can start designing inside of. Now you want to go to the link in the description and download my mockup pack. You can open the master file right inside of Adobe Illustrator. I'm just going to go to file and open and locate the mockup pack and press open. Once you are inside the latest version of the mockup pack, it's going to look like this. It does come with all of the previous versions as well, but this is the latest version. I am going to create a set. I'm going to create a hoodie and a pair of rhinestone flared sweatpants. So I'm going to first select a hoodie. There is loads of hoodies to pick from. I'm going to go for hoodie arm showcase, as I plan to have a print on the arm, so I will select that. And I'm also going to pick the flared sweatpants. There we go. And you just want to right click and press copy. I've just clicked on both of these with shift selected to select both of them. I'm using the selection tool, but I'll go through the tools in a moment. With them copied, go back into the artboard that we created, right click and press paste. You just want to drag and select and move these around. They will be grouped together, so you can just select anywhere on them, but I like to drag and select. There we go. Now, a pro tip that I always use, if you go up here to window and go down to transform, if you click on that, it'll open up this little box. If I drag and select all of this here, you want to make sure that scale, stroke and effect is enabled. By default, it will be disabled, so you want to make sure that is enabled. Now, when you make them bigger, the outlines are going to maintain their thickness, whereas I will show you if that is turned off and I make that bigger, then the outlines will get really thin. So you want to make sure that is enabled, make them nice and large like so. I can now close this box as that is enabled. Now to run through all of these tools so that you understand all of the basics, this is all super simple, but the top one is the selection tool. You can either click up here or press V. This is just a basic selection tool. You can select things like so, not too complicated on this one. The next one is the direct selection tool. This is all currently grouped together, but because I am using the direct selection tool, it will still select the individual parts and even the individual points. That is what the direct selection tool does. For example, I could select the 2 points on the bottom of my ribbing on my hoodie and I could move them up like so, and now it's got a slightly thinner ribbing. For example, I could select this line individually and remove it. I could select any of these stitch lines and remove any of the stitch lines, but I'm going to leave that all as it is for now. The next one that we might need to know later when we are labeling is the pen tool. This is just for creating lines like so, then you can press enter. More importantly is the properties tab over here. You have the properties and the layers tab. These are the only 2 you need. and you don't really need the layers tab. I just use the properties tab. Say if I click on the line that I just created, you can see in this little appearance box, you can see there is no fill as it is just an outline, and the outline is called a stroke. So stroke is the outline, they call it stroke, and you can see if I increase this, it's going to increase the thickness of my outline. I can click on this box here and change the color to any color I want. Alternatively, I can use these color boxes over here on the left, which give you more customization. I can double click on the outline box like so, and it's going to open this up. I can use every color, they are all here. The same applies for if I want to change the color of the hoodie. You can see when I select this, it is currently grouped together. I want to start editing my mockup, so I'm going to click on it and either press ungroup up here or right click and press ungroup, and there we go. And now it is ungrouped, and I can select the base of both mockups, and using the color boxes that we just used, I'm going to change the base of my hoodie to this sort of blue color. I want this specific sort of blue. I'm going to make sure it's correct, just play around with it. Now if you see this happening, this is because this outline here has a fill applied. This is super easy to fix. You just go to the fill box here and make sure it's got no fill, and there we go. If we go back to the line we just made and make this red, I will show you the text tool. So say I want to label something, I can just click and type anything I want. For example, 500 GSM, cotton, terry, fleece, hoodie, for example. The next one down that you might need to know is the eyedropper tool. This is another really easy one. Say I want to change this pocket to the same color as the hoodie. I just select the pocket, select the eyedropper tool, and click on the hoodie like so. And I'm going to do the same for the inside of the hood, but I like to make this slightly darker to add some depth to my mock-up, as you can see. And as for my pants, I'm going to make them a slightly darker blue color. Now that these are ungrouped, I'm just going to move these over so that they're sitting underneath each of these. For now, I'm going to delete this label. We will go through the labeling in a moment. And you just want to start adding your logos. So you want to get your logos that you've either designed yourself or got from your graphic designer. You want to start dragging these in. Ideally, you have them in SVG format, which is the perfect format. It's infinitely scalable. It doesn't go blurry. Whereas you might have them in PNG, which is fine if they are high quality PNGs, but you want to have them in SVG vector format like I have here. Now I'm just going to copy this and place this on the back of my hoodie. I want this in the center, right on the back, quite big like so. I want my other logo to be placed on the chest. So I'm going to copy and paste this one and place it where I want it on the chest. And finally, I'm going to have a little print on the back of my arm, which I've also got. I'm going to do the same thing, bring this in like so. And there we have our hoodie mock-up. It's already made, easy as that. The mock-up is ready to go. Now for the rhinestone pants, this one is going to require me to use one extra tool, which is the shape tool, as I want to create little circles to visualize my rhinestones for the manufacturer. So I'm going to have little dots all over, and I will just do it on one leg and flip it over to the other leg so I don't have to do it twice. You can get the circle tool by holding down on this square here, and it will bring up the ellipse tool. And with this selected, you can just create a tiny little circle like so. Get rid of all of the stroke in the properties tab and just make the fill white. Now you can make this as big or as small as you want, but I'm going to make it about that size. And either you want your rhinestones in a grid formation or you want them scattered randomly. I want mine scattered randomly over the pants, so I'm just going to drag them all over. I'm going to do a similar amount to how much I actually want the manufacturer to put on the pants. Pretty happy with how many I've got placed, I believe. Just going to add a few more and I'm pretty happy with that. Now I'm going to drag with the normal selection tool. I'm just going to drag like so where all of my rhinestones are and release. Now it is going to select the base, but holding shift you can select the base and it's going to deselect it. It has also selected these stitch lines, so I'm going to do the same, select both of these with shift selected, and there we go. Now I just have the rhinestones. Now I can use this box here and group all of my rhinestones together, or I can right click and press group, which is what I'm going to do. And now they're all grouped together. Now holding down Alt on my keyboard, I'm going to hold down Alt and drag this to the left. There we go. Right click, transform and reflect. This is going to flip it and reflect it. I want to reflect it vertically and just press OK like so. And I can drag it over. And now we have all of our rhinestones on both sides. And I can now select both of these groups and even group these together, holding Alt and drag them over to my other pair. There we go. Now I'm going to go back into my logos and get my final logo that I want to use, which is this circle star logo. Copy and paste again, move this over, and I just want this to be on the left leg of the pants. So I'm going to place that there. This is all going to be in gel print. You can have puff print, you can have screen print, any type of print. This is all going to be gel print. I will move this up slightly. And finally, I want to add a pocket to the back of my pants, just a basic square pocket. So I'm going to go into my mockup pack and just go down to the modifiers and select the pocket that I want to go for, which is just the double square pocket. I will place that on the back like so. And instead of ungrouping this, I'm just going to use the direct selection tool to just select the back layer and make it the appropriate color like so. And I think that looks very nice on the back. And I'm just in small text, I'm going to use the text tool, and I can export this when I'm done and send it to my manufacturer as an SVG. But I'm just going to type winners mindset and get a nice cursive font that we can have that in white on the back of the pocket, something like this, something fancy. Have that in white like so, and there we go. I think we are all complete and we are ready to move on to stage 2, which is labeling the mock-up and finally providing size charts. This is the easy part. The hard part is now complete. Now to label your mock-up, you want to do exactly as I did before. Now the best way to label your mock-up, as you can see I've done here on this other version of this hoodie, you want to use the pen tool like we used previously. So first you want to specify all of your prints, what you want your print to be. As this one says puff print, I want this to be gel print. So I'm just going to create my lines going up from my print like so. You can make them thicker in the properties tab, and I'm also going to make mine red, and I'm just going to draw a line from every print to 1 point. And what is nice about this, you can use the direct selection tool and drag and select all of these points and move this around like so. Have it nice and centered. I'm going to change these back to black. I don't know why I keep changing my mind, but I'm going to change these back to black. And I'm just going to type gel print, and I'm not going to use that font because I don't know if they'll be able to read that. So you just want to use a nice basic font. I'm just going to go with the classic Arial font in bold. And if you want a special print like gel print, then it is important to specify the color of all of your prints. All of mine are yellow, so I will just provide the color as yellow, as I've done here. You just use the rectangle tool, as we briefly mentioned earlier, the rectangle tool. Holding shift, it will create a perfect box. And just like before, I will use the eyedropper tool and just select directly on my print to get the yellow color. I will add a black stroke just so it is easier to see like so. And you can just quickly label the color. I like to just put yellow, and then if you click on the box and double click on this color box as we used before, it will get you the color code, which is here. You can see this is FFF00. Copy this, Control C, or right click and copy, and just specify the color of yellow like so. And I'll make this slightly smaller and make this font regular like so. I'm going to copy this box and just drag it down. As this is going slightly off the board, I'm going to make it all a little bit smaller. And once again, I'm going to drag my lines from my gel print here And I'm going to copy this once more over here. Using the direct selection tool, I can just select this point and move it over to here. And I'm just going to specify this as embroidery, and it is just white. I do not need to give a color code for white. Then, as you can see, you want to do the same for your fabric. So I'm going to copy this over once more. This hoodie is going to be 600 GSM in cotton terry fleece, which is the higher quality version of cotton. It is slightly more expensive, but it is the nicer quality. It is what I prefer to use for my hoodies. And once again, using the eyedropper tool, I will select the base. Now, a super important note: you want to provide a Pantone color for your fabric. Manufacturers use Pantone for fabric colors, so this is something you need to provide. It's really easy to find on Google. You can either copy this color code as we did before and search hex to Pantone, and this website will convert your color into a Pantone, and you need to select the color that most resembles the color that you're trying to go for. Otherwise, your manufacturer is just going to pick this for you, so you need to pick this yourself. Go to a hex to Pantone converter and pick the one that is most similar to the color you're trying to create. For this, I think it's 2995C. This is why you see people using these kind of pieces of cardboard with the colors on them when picking their fabrics, because these are all Pantone colors. So an important step is picking this. I'm going to go for 2995C, and there we go. That is all the information that you need to include. For this part of the process, these do not need to be on top of each other, so I am actually going to move these, as that is getting a little bit awkward to deal with. And I will also move them up to work in the grey, just so it's slightly easier to see. Move these labels below like so. These will also be 600 GSM cotton terry fleece, but a different colorway. So I just edit all of this information, copy over my Pantone, edit that. Once again, go into my converter. I'm going to go with blue 072C. That one looks perfect. Copy that over. And the final thing that I need to show is the rhinestones. So I will add one more line, title this white rhinestones, and I will specify distributed as seen in my mock-up. I want them to be nicely distributed, not evenly in a grid, just scattered. I will also specify this in my email, but there we go. Now the final thing that I want to put on this is a woven neck label. I want to put a label on the neck and a label on the waist. I'm just going to bring in the basic woven label from my mock-up pack, copy over this text. I'm going to change this text to woven neck label and add some small text to specify the color. I'm just going to say all white with black print. And as for the design, I'm going to copy over this by just holding Alt. But as you can see, currently it is going behind the label. To fix this, just right click and hover over arrange, then press bring to front. There we go. Now it's at the front. Going to change this to black, make this smaller. I just want my label to be basic like that. Bring a line over here like so. Use the eyedrop tool to copy over the properties of the other line. Copy this over. Gonna move this line with the direct selection tool to just move this point. There we go. And now that looks all complete. This is all the information that I want to include on mine. If you want to add anything else, then just add that now. But you want to first save everything up here in the top left. You can go to file and press save, and that will save your file. You then want to select your mock-up and bring it over to your artboard. I'm going to scale it up, make it so it fits inside of my artboard. Currently, if you export this, it's not going to have a background. So you want to get the rectangle tool, just make a rectangle that's the same size as your artboard. It will snap to the corners. There we go. And I'm going to make sure this has a white fill. Now you can see that it is on top of my mock-up. So I just want to right click, arrange and send to back. Press this, select everything, drag and select, and I'm ready to export this as a PDF. So I'll go into file and export selection and just give it a name. I'm going to call it blue gel hoodie. You need to make sure that this is a PDF. This is the best format for your manufacturer. A PDF is the best. This drop down menu, press PDF and export asset, and I'm just going to quickly do the same thing for my pants and drag and select file file, export selection, blue rhinestone pants, export that as a PDF as well. Now the final step to this process, as I said before, if you want control over the fit of your garments, then you need to provide a custom size chart. Luckily, I have a little trick for finding a size chart. So you just want to go to Google and search up essence.com and it will bring you to this website. But every item on this website has a full size chart that you can use, so it's really useful. They are all standing in the same position, which is helpful. I like how this hoodie is sort of cropped, so I'm going to take this one. You just want to press size guide here and it will bring up the full size run of size guides. I am personally going to just make a size large for my sample, so I'm going to select large. I'm going to open up the snipping tool or whatever it is on Mac, select this, press copy and just bring this back into Illustrator, and I'm just going to place this on my artboard. I will bring in a title as well, hoodie custom measurements size large sample, and I'm also just going to snipping tool this as a reference image. Now you just want to export this, select and file, export selection, hoodie measurements, export asset. Now the final bit of free information that I'll give you in this video, if you go to Google and you just search PDF merge or merge PDF, this one is good, smallpdf.com. Click on choose files and just locate what you just exported. Make sure that they're in the right order. I want my hoodie first and then my measurements. Press finish and now you can press download and it has now merged these PDFs and this is ready to send your manufacturer all in one. You want to send all of your logos separately, otherwise this should have all of the information your manufacturer needs.
This is definitely a good beginner alternative to creating a full tech pack like this. This can be quite difficult to create, so this is just easier for beginners and should contain all of the basic information that you need. These are the keys to creating any clothes in 2024. You want to create a good mock-up, label it well, and provide a nice size chart for the fit that you're trying to replicate. My mock-up pack is in the link below. This has every single mock-up that you could need for your clothing brand. Over 200 clothing mock-ups ready to customize, instant download, every mock-up that you could ever need, as well as my manufacturer list. This is all of my favorite manufacturers that I work with, and some other things for you clothing brand owners at adamsmockups.com. You can check that all out on there. I hope you enjoyed this video. I think it was some good free information. Press subscribe if you did enjoy. I'll see you in the next one.